My mom just starts crying. And now here I stand in a dungeon full of moose heads. Like, what happened to me? Hi guys, it's Adria. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be doing another story time video. I know it's been a hot minute since I've done one. It's never too late to pick something back up. So real quick, I don't know what's happening with my life. I was trying to find a book for this video, couldn't find it. Trying to find a memory card for this video, couldn't find it. Trying to find my mind for this video, still haven't found it. And my thumbnail just popped off. I'm gonna start a new little series on my channel about planning my wedding. I'm gonna take you guys along on the journey of planning everything. I want to do a video when I finally go to try on dresses for my wedding and all sorts of things. So we're gonna start it today with a little bit of a story time. Tomorrow we're actually getting our engagement photos done finally. Since this is the first video wedding related, I guess I just want to address a few little FAQs. That means frequently asked questions. Okay, or just give you a little bit of context. So my fiance Brandon and I got engaged back in May of 2016. Over 3 years now. So something we get asked a lot about is, why aren't you married? When are you getting married? Why have you waited so long to get married? We knew we wanted to marry each other, but there wasn't a real rush for it. And I've never been somebody to rush to do something. Another thing was, we lived in Florida for 5 years. We moved here about this time last year. I knew I wanted to plan the wedding with my family and have them sort of help me organize the whole thing, which once you hear this story, it may seem like, maybe that was a bad idea. I also saw a meme that was like, if you hold up a peace sign, you're definitely depressed. I'm just like, yeah. Now let's get into the story. Pardon me. Number one, I'm not very ladylike. Excuse me. Number two, just a little disclaimer. I don't want it to come across as like, I have super high standards and like anything less than perfect is crap. Completely not. If you're familiar with my channel, you're familiar with me being very on brand with stuff not being very glamorous, my ratchet apartment tour, etc. You get it. The most high maintenance aspect of me is probably my hair. And that I also do myself. Anyway, this is a story time about finding a wedding venue. So I've asked people for advice with planning a wedding, and it seems like the best place to start is to find the venue. And now I see why, because it's the most difficult part for some reason. I want this story to be funny. It's not that serious, but at the same time, it also made my mother cry. So you be the judge of where this fits. So this was about 6 months ago now. There was this day, it was kind of like a cleaning day, I feel like. I took a shower, really just threw some clothes on, then I get a call from my stepdad. Hey, do you want to go to Dunkin' Donuts with me? I'm like, sure. I'm really not dressed all that cute. I look like a bum. He's like, I'll meet you outside in like 5 minutes. I'm like, cool, okay. So him and I are at Dunkin' Donuts, right? The topic of wedding planning starts to come up. I don't know why I sort of get clammed up when people say the W word, wedding. It like puts a curse on me. I'm like I can't function now that you've said that. I think just because it is a lot of pressure and planning and money and figuring stuff out, I feel kind of lost, honestly, 90% of the time. He's like, I think I know a couple places nearby that I could take you. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So we leave Dunkin'. Keep in mind, it was also rainy and gross. I was kind of just expecting to get my coffee and then just go home. We drove around. There was like this little community building. My stepdad was in the Navy, and so it was one of these places that you like had to be military to get into a place like this. I forget what it's called. Yeah, I could Google it. We kind of walk in and take a look at this place and it looks fine and whatever. It's pretty small. Something I told him was more or less, I'm like, it can be small. I don't want a really high budget thing. I feel like he took that almost a little bit too literally. So the first place was like, okay. It did smell of cigarettes. Even still, I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm like, okay, this is fine. I guess this is an option. It was the first place I had looked at. So then we go to, I would describe this place, if you're familiar with the store Cabela's, take that, but make it ratchet. Take that but make it like a closet, a bar. If you want a visual. So we go to this place. I'm kind of just like, also reeked of cigarettes. You had to be like a member to go here. My stepdad was like willing to become a member for me to get married here. It was so dark and smoggy and small, and there was a bar. So we go into like the little reception room and we're looking around. There's moose heads all over the walls. 2 hours ago, my life was completely normal. Nothing was happening. And now here I stand in a dungeon full of moose heads. Like, what happened to me? Was I abducted by aliens? Here's my whole thing. I'm very just like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you know, because my stepdad like put himself out there. He was, you know, going into these places and asking questions and getting us little tours real fast. I really didn't want to say like, wow, this place is an absolute dump, like right there in front of the guy that owns the place. Like, I didn't really want to say that. The room's yours for $150 for the day. Nice. Here's how much I tried to just make the most of a situation is I was even like, well, I guess we could put flower crowns on the moose heads. I don't know. I'm so bad at just like putting my foot down and being like, no, I don't like this. I'm so bad at that. A quality that I really don't like about myself. I wish in the moment I could just be like, no. No. I think on YouTube I can come across as maybe I'm like that bitch in person. I am a Leo, but I think my Leo only comes out online because I'm very quiet in person and I'm very just like, yep, this is fine, let's go. Almost felt like we agreed on a date, which literally like just passed like a couple weeks ago. So that's kind of what reminded me to do this little story time. We go out to the car and he's kind of just like, oh, do you like it? And I'm just like, I honestly didn't even really know. It was like I didn't have an opinion. I was just kind of like going with the flow. I guess this is what's happening. I mean, it's cheap, it's nearby, it's a room, it has a ceiling. So we go home and then he starts telling my mom about it. My mom got like so upset hearing about it. She was like,
are you actually out of your mind?
She thought it was a joke. I thought you were going for coffee. Like, now you're back here telling me to come see this place. Yeah, he was trying to get my mom to come. He's like, we'll go have dinner there so you can see it. We'll show you the room and whatever. And I'm standing there in the bathroom mirror just looking at myself like... Meanwhile, I'm texting Brandon and I'm like, so we may have found a venue option, and Brandon's out of town somewhere and is like, what the actual living is going on? That's bleeped out. I can imagine how bizarre that probably was to him. Keep in mind, it's still pouring down rain. So going anywhere in the rain, you're just like, it already just kind of sucks. So we're soaking wet. My stepdad finally convinced my mom to come with us to this venue. When we got there, my mom was so quiet. And I know when my mom is quiet, that she's not doing okay. So, you know, it was the same guy, and then he says, well, you guys are like welcome to have dinner here. This guy was very nice. This is like no shade against him. This was just very not what I was looking for. If you want a wedding reception with moose heads in the room, like, go for it. If that's your thing, yes. So we sit down to dinner in a bingo hall. Not even kidding. We turn around and there's actually a bingo board behind us and we're like, all right, you know what? My mom was so pissed off. She was sitting with her arms crossed the whole time and she's like, you're not getting married here. I think she was pissed at my stepdad for even like recommending it and dragging her there. Like, I think she wanted to go out on an actual date that night too. So I kind of felt bad that we were even there. I also just want to mention the overall vibe was just so chaotic and awkward. And I felt so weird. We did order food, and I'm typically not even that bitch that gets pissed off if my food is wrong, but I specifically asked for no bacon in my salad, and it came with bacon in it. I don't eat bacon, and I just kind of like ate around the bacon. Yeah, food's pretty good, but like, not gonna lie, it's pretty good. I got a picture with one of the moose heads. You know, we were pretty much already joking about it before we even walked out the door. So then I'm pretty sure they had like a full argument in the car about it and how stupid it was and whatever. If he legitimately thought it was good enough for me, and he like, you know, he couldn't even honestly answer that. Obviously, it's like... So then we pull up to like this huge country club. It's really nice. He parks out front and goes inside. And so... My mom and I are sitting there in the rain, in the dark, in the car, and my mom just starts crying. It's not funny that she was crying, but it is actually kind of funny because we were looking at this venue that was called Barn on the Bridge. To rent out this place was like $10,000. I'm not even kidding you. This place was so bougie, so expensive, so nice, right? I was like in love with it, but then when I saw the price, I was like, I just broke my other thumb. You know when you like something and then you see the price and you're just like, back up, back up. My mom is crying and sobbing, and through her tears she says, I wish I could just give you the barn on the bridge. It's literally fine. It's not that big of a deal. And so then this country club we ended up looking at, it ended up being too expensive. Their minimum guest count for a Saturday wedding is 150 guests, and I was like, I don't even know that many people. I guess in conclusion, you get what you pay for. If you're gonna pay $150 for a venue, you're gonna get animal heads on the walls. After that, the owner kept calling me. I had to work up the nerve to text him that I wasn't interested. I hate even doing that. I'm so bad at that. And the reason I make this now is because now I think I've finally found a venue. I'm pretty sure. I'll be glad when all of this is over and done with. The venue anyway. I got so discouraged after that, I didn't even look for months. But you know, now I'm looking forward to our engagement photos tomorrow. You know, just kind of getting the ball rolling with everything. I don't want this huge extravagant thing. I don't want a ton of people there. Let's just get married and be done with it, honestly. It's not about how fancy a place is. It's kind of just insert sentimental crap here. You already know. Not that that's not okay, but if that is your only focus, you need to redirect a little bit. My standards are pretty low, so you know that when you go too low for me that you've sunk. So, you know, I want to do a video trying on dresses, kind of showing you guys what I plan as I plan it, but I thought we'd just kick it off with a good old little story time. You know, it wasn't that eventful of a story, but it's a funny little story that I feel like I'll remember. All I can say is that mooses are forever tainted. I don't want to see one for as long as I live. I'm giving a shout out to Jessica C on Twitter for retweeting my pinned tweet. I will see you guys again real soon. If you want more story times, link is up here. Okay. Hand hugs, love you guys. Goodbye. I'm ready to go to a courthouse. Let's not even do the dance anymore. Let's not do it.